Alex Moss here with Matthew Kiernan for the weekly Dartscast, and we're at Butlins Minehead. We're at the multi-board room, nice and early for today's play. Before we get anywhere, Matthew, let's talk about the biggest game that took place in these parts this week, and that was me versus you, Bar 501 in Bristol yesterday. Talk us through it.
Oh, I didn't want to bring it up.
Well, we have to. I know
we do. Well, you can watch it on my YouTube channel at some point by the time it comes out. We relive every dart. Well, it was enjoyable to tick it off the bucket list, wasn't it? And we're very appreciative to Steve Brown at Bar 501 for hosting us and allowing us to have that time, because it was a bit of a worry, because trying to find a dartboard in Minehead, and any player listening to this can probably relate to this, it's actually really difficult. You know, there's the Social Club and there's the British Legion, but you know, they're in quite high demand, aren't they? So yeah, no, it was great to be able to tick that off, and here we are in a very quiet boards 3 to 8 room ahead of the busiest session of the year.
It definitely is, yeah. We've got 158 players starting today, first day of the UK Open. By the end of this session, the afternoon, we'll have 64 players left, so 94 games that we're going to be trying to keep an eye on over the course of this morning, afternoon. Just a final word on the game, because I don't want to go on about it anymore, but it was 4-0 to you. Congratulations to you, you get the bragging rights.
I didn't bring it up, notice I didn't say the scoreline.
Do go and watch it on YouTube if you want to see how it all played out. It was quite a good game. I was happy with my 48 average. You had a 56 average, which I'd have been happy with as well. But I did have a chat with Gerwyn Price last night, the world number one. Gave me a bit of advice for our next game. He said that I've got to practice my doubles and take my chances, so that is what I'm going to be doing ahead of playing Andrew Sinclair inside the WDF at Lakeside next month. So plenty of practice, but let's get into this. We're here for the first session, and before we get into it, this is the 20th UK Open. Not many major events can say they've got to 20 years. The UK Open has. What are your favourite moments that stick with you from the tournament?
Oh, well, I mean, I think first of all, it's my favourite event outside of the World Championship, because everyone can play in it. This tournament has actually been going on since the end of or middle of January, hasn't it? Because of all the Rileys, the qualifiers, and that particular route into this event. And there's so many really fascinating stories on this afternoon. Obviously the 16 Riley's qualifiers, all those different stories. You know, every single tour card holder, best of the development and challenge tour, and it's really hard to come through it and get through to the fourth round. It's a real achievement just to get here, but it's a real achievement to sort of string those wins together. It's a great event, and I don't think that this afternoon session comes across very well on telly, if we're being honest. Obviously in the old days Sky used to stream all the boards, and you could just click on the red button and click between each one. Obviously, that's beyond ITV's budget, I suspect. But yeah, no, I mean, favourite events, favourite things over the years. I mean, obviously, for me, it's Barry Lynn and Rob Cross in 2016, because no one's done what Barry Lynn did, really. And it's really hard to match what he did, actually. And I think we often forget just how amazing that was, and we obviously wish him well, because I think he's got dartitis at the moment. And of course, it was the quote-unquote birth of Rob Cross performing as well as he did, because it sort of went under the radar, really, because it eclipsed by what Barry Lynn did that year. Just amazing memories. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I ran through a few on our show earlier this week with Burton. My standout one is Peter Wright winning the title in 2017. That was his first major title, and we've seen what he's gone on to achieve over the last 5 years. But at that point, he hadn't got any major titles. Michael van Gerwen was dominating the scene. So for me, that one is one that definitely stands out. Andrew Gilding making the semi-finals 2015, I'm sure that's one of Dan Dawson's highlights as well. He really did push Michael van Gerwen all the way in that semi-final. And start of the week we put a tweet out saying any favourite moments from our listeners, and we had plenty of you get in touch. Of course, Paul Hogan's giant killing from I think 2017 and 2018, making the last 16 back-to-back years. He's of course back here this weekend, first time since then. You've got MVG's 9-darter against Rob Cross wonder what happened to him. Well, we all know what he went on to achieve. A few people mentioned that one. Steve Mitchell, the 2017 quarter-final session, that had pretty much all the games going all the way, 10-9, 10-8. That was a really good session. You've got Aspinall winning the title with a big fish, 2019.
Yes, that was really good.
A couple of people mentioning that. So yeah, lots of you getting in touch, which we do appreciate, and hopefully over the course of this episode you're going to hear from a few of the players that are going to be involved, and we'll try and bring you a few more chats as well.
Yeah, I think it's we don't quite know who we're going to get, do we? So it's a bit sort of potluck, because you're trying to catch them. Hopefully we're trying to catch them before it starts, and then hopefully during the course of the day, but hopefully a few names that you haven't heard of, because that's the beauty of this event. And another reason why, which it doesn't really come across very well on the telly, because obviously they're limited on resources, is that most of those players that we're interested in trying to talk to, unfortunately they're going to be out by the time they get to this evening. So it's always good to hear from different people and just hear what it means to get here, which is why I have that connection with Riley's, the Riley's qualifiers, because when they win, people should go to my Twitter and look at the reaction when Diogo Portela won. That's how much it means, jumping up and down like he's won the world championship. That's how much it means. That's the reality, and I don't think that really comes across as well as it could do. And that's why we've driven 200 miles here to be here to try and improve with that. So yeah, it's good. I'm just trying to spot who these players are walking past us. No, I can't quite.
I think that's Scott Waits with the beard gives it away.
It's Scott Waits, yes.
He's involved this afternoon. But what about all the other players, all the games that we've got? As I said, 94 games. What games are you most looking forward to, players that you're most looking forward to seeing in action?
Okay, so declaration of interest, of course, Connor Scott is a friend, right? And what I was been saying to you in the drive here is 2018, we drove to Riley's Harlow. He lost very early on. I made him stay because I drove him. I made him stay. He hasn't forgiven me for this. I made him stay throughout the day because I wanted to watch the final. So and record the final. And then when we drove home, we got lost. So. And obviously when you're on those car journeys, it's quite a lot of, and I don't think a lot of darts players can probably relate to this, when you're travelling to an event, to and from an event, a lot of soul searching, isn't there, without trying to overplay that. And so wouldn't it be great one day if you ever got in it? Yeah, that'd be really good. And of course, you say these things, and he fair play, he's put all the hard work in, and today he's on the main stage. That is amazing, really. So just in that sort of 4-year space, that's what people up and down the country playing the game to a high level strive for. And that is the dream. So there's obviously that one. And then I've got a few players that I support with social media, so I'm looking forward to cheering them. Some of them I haven't seen in a long time. One I haven't even met in person, although we text a lot. So looking forward to those. But how about yourself?
Yeah, the busiest session of televised darts of the year. For me, I'm looking forward to seeing a few players that I've not seen play in person for a long time. Of course, John O'Shea, we're unbeaten together. Whenever I've watched him play, he's won the World Masters 2019. So looking forward to seeing him play. That's going to be a really good game against Nathan Rafferty. That's on the outside boards. Connor Scott, of course, I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on. And both our episode 1 guests, Diogo Portela, who you mentioned, he's going to be playing today. Of course, the big hitters as well, all the players outside the top 32. You've just got the 5-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld, the 2-time world champion Adrian Lewis back in this session for the first time for a long time. So you're going to see a lot of the bigger names outside that top 32 in action, but of course the Riley's qualifiers as well. And you've got, like I said before, a nice mix of players from your Jelle Klaasens to your Matt Goods, who we had on the show. This is going to be his debut. He hit the 9-darter at Riley's Norwich, so first chance of the big time for him. He's really looking forward to it. So yeah, seeing a lot of the big names that we haven't seen for a while.
I was trying to work out who that person was walking past. I don't think it's a big name. I haven't got my glasses on. Could be anyone, Alex. But obviously we'll try and grab these people as we go along. Yeah, it's so frenetic. Thank God for Dart Connect, by the way, because before, if we remember, boards 3 to 8, it just wasn't covered, really. So you would just have no idea how well these people played, and then you would have to rely. Richard Ashdown in the old days, you just have to type out the latest scores and text it to the commentary box to say, so that it would roll along the bottom of the screen to give you the updates of the various scores. And then there's that infamous bit of commentary where Chris Mason is going, well, you're never going to believe this, but Barry Lynn is beating Gary Anderson. And you go, why are we watching this cut back to them? That's Ross Montgomery there walking past. Yeah, I think this is UK Open debut, isn't it, Ross Montgomery?
Yes, well, he's one of the new tour this year. Surprise package coming through Q School for the first time. So yeah, lots of new players that we're going to see involved this afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's sign off there. We've got lots to bring you hopefully for this afternoon. As I always say, enjoy the darts, as Burton would say, hang tight. I don't know if you've got a sign off yourself yet, but if you have,
try and survive this quite frenetic afternoon. No, it should be good. Fingers crossed we get some good people.
Enjoy the darts. Here we are in the practice room at Butlins Minehead, and we have the man himself, Dan Dawson. How you doing?
I'm alright. It's good, isn't it? Like, I know that you've been here as a fan, but seeing behind the curtain and just like all these guys milling around, I think this is as close as you're going to get in PDC darts to like one of those big WDF tournaments where, you know, the big opens and stuff like that. But it's just a bit of a buzz looking around and seeing all this talent, knowing that it's all just being thrown together in one afternoon. It's good.
And the thing that I can see straight away, Jelle Klaasen in his red Riley's polo shirt.
And
that's a sight we never thought we'd see.
Weird, isn't it? It is weird.
Paul Hogan's not put his one on yet, but
no.
That'll be coming.
Yeah, I like it. I'm really looking forward to it. You must be buzzing here as a fan.
It is, yeah, of course. Yeah, we don't get to these events very often, but this session, Matthew sold it to me, that this is the busiest session of darts of the year. 94 games this afternoon across 8 boards. Let's quickly look back though. Last night you were involved with the Premier League. What did you make of last night's play? Meikle van Gerwen back to winning ways. Is he back now?
No, of course he isn't. Despite what various people have been saying for quite some time, where he wins 3 games in a row, he's back. He's not back. But the thing is, he's back to a sufficient extent where he can win things. Now, to be honest, he hasn't been winning many things for quite a long while, because we know that Meikle van Gerwen can go and put 3 games together and look really good. The problem is Meikle van Gerwen has struggled to put 5 games together, or 6 games together, or 7 games together, and even when he does put 7 games together, somebody can play well enough to beat him, and that just didn't happen. So this is the first time in my eyes, certainly when I've been covering darts, but realistically for the best part of a quarter of a century, where we don't have a figure at the top of the game who is undisputably the best in the world. Taylor was for 2 decades, Van Gerwen was for well over half a decade, and now we don't have that, because even Price, Wright, Clayton, Van Gerwen, they have all got these performances where they go and average 91, or Peter Wright 86 in the Premier League, or 93 or something like that. We've seen that happen so often, which Van Gerwen at his peak and Taylor for most of his career just never did it. So it does just mean you've got no idea who's going to win going into any tournament. I mean, I don't know, you've probably on your long car drive down here I've probably discussed with Matthew who you think's going to win this, and you could pick anybody. It could be any. I genuinely think you could look at 30, 40 players in this tournament and think, yeah, you've got a chance. So I think we're in a very, very exciting period of darts where anything could happen, and I enjoy it. But it is nice to see Meikle van Gerwen back winning. I thought he spoke very well last night and said, look, where I am at the minute, this Premier League format is good, because, as we say, he's got a chance to win 3 games, put 3 games together, and he's won something. He's got that winning feeling, and things like that can snowball. It builds your confidence and everything. But he could win it this weekend. We don't know. But I don't know if we're ever going to see him get back to his top level. It doesn't matter though, because even Van Gerwen playing as he is at the minute is still a force who can win major titles and lots of them.
The UK Open, one of the best weekends of the year. Speaking of best weekends, the Euro Tour came back last weekend. What was it like to have that back and also have that calendar this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing for it. It's amazing. It was brilliant being back on the Euro Tour, and it was quite nice to sort of tick off Risa, which is one of the most difficult ones to get to, so get it out early while everybody's enthusiastic, and then we can do easier ones like Hilda, Simons, Voller and whatever. So yeah, it was brilliant. As always, the crowds were good. I cannot say enough good things about the guys who put that production together. They are incredible. The Dutch team, Keytown, they've improved or increased the number of people who are working on it. They've got extra cameras. They're still testing things out and working out how to make it work, but they've put in, huge amounts of money they've spent to improve the coverage. I hope that's coming across to people watching at home, because certainly when we're sat there watching it backstage and doing the commentary, you can see it. All of the innovation, all of the new stuff in darts coverage, it's coming from those guys. It's not coming from the TV companies. The Sky and ITV aren't doing anything new. They haven't been doing anything new for ages. The innovation is all coming from there, and that's why they're the ones who did the ITV events last year in Europe, because ITV COVID and stuff, they weren't sending people abroad. I think that might be considered. I think the future of darts production, those guys, they're absolutely incredible. Never miss a dart. Never miss a dart, which you just do on the TV coverage. It's not always the fault of somebody. It's just the system they use. It's much more difficult to have manual cameramen chasing things around the board, and when something goes wrong, player misses big numbers, which you should not do. Just seen Rod Harrington actually. Then it's difficult to correct, but you do not miss anything with those guys in the Euro, so they're absolutely incredible. But yeah, it was great, and you couldn't have scripted it any better, could you? Wright versus Price for the world number one spot in the final, and that might be something we'd see here this weekend,
maybe
or
tonight.
Yeah, maybe tonight. Who knows? But yeah, it's yeah, it was fun.
We talk about the players having a busy schedule, the media as well. You're one of the busiest person in darts media. You were at Risa last weekend, Minehead this weekend. How good is it to have that busy schedule again after the last 2 years when it was affected by the virus? Not a lot of things going on.
I mean, it is good, and I promised myself during COVID that I wasn't going to moan about like going here, there and everywhere. I mean, I did, when I was going to Birmingham Airport at 3 a.m. on Thursday last week, I was like, don't moan. You promised yourself you wouldn't moan. But yeah, this is what everybody wants. This is. There's so much stuff now. I mean, we've got clashes on the calendar this year, where we've got women's series going on at the same time as Euro Tour. So there is so much stuff. They physically can't get it all in without there being some overlap with tournaments. We're seeing. Women's tournaments on TV. We've got I don't think they're showing it on the telly, but they announced the disability darts final at the match play as well. There's so much exciting stuff going on in PDC darts right now, and look, I think this is what everybody's waited for. We spent a year and a half locked up or playing behind closed doors or whatever, and all these guys, some of these guys, won tour cards at the start of last year, they haven't had the full experience. They haven't felt what it's like to be playing on the Euro Tour every week for a month and a half, six weeks or whatever. They're going to get it this year. They'll get it with both barrels directly into their face, and they'll realise what PDC Tour life is like. Enormous amount of opportunities, enormous amount of money, but with that comes a bit of hard graft.
Another busy man, Paul Nicholson. He's going to be your colleague in the commentary box for the next couple of days, stage 2. How much are you looking forward to working alongside Paul again?
Yeah, I love working with Paul. I mean, admittedly, look, if you stick two people in a room talking to each other non-stop for 10 hours a day for a couple of days, by the end of it, you'll be sick of the sight of each other and certainly the sound of each other. But yeah, he's a top man, is Paul, and having a man who's won many titles. I think people forget how good he was. He's quite self-deprecating himself, and he'll make jokes at his own expense. But he won a major title. He won 6 ranking events, I think it was, for a little while there, for a good couple of years. He was absolutely unreal. He knows what it's like to be at the top of this sport, and in many ways, he was one of the. We've got Gerwyn Price world number 1. People have asked me this loads as Gerwyn Price has progressed, and a lot of the young players coming through, about whether darts is changing and the approach to it and becoming more professional. In many ways, Paul Nicholson was at the forefront of that. I mean, he was always on about fitness and nutrition and looking at ways he could improve his game. And he picked fights with the crowd, so he's very much a forerunner to Gerwyn Price in some respects.
I think the UK Open as well. How many times will he mention that day? Did he beat, was it Phil Taylor and Gary Anderson on the same day?
I think we'll probably hear that story. Yeah, we'll hear that story as well as lots of name drops for players from the Northeast who nobody's ever heard. So yeah, there'll be plenty of that.
Right. And lastly, before we let you go, let's have a name. Who's going to win it? And give us a dark horse as well that you think is going to go on a deep run.
Oh come on! It's so, as I say, it's so difficult to pick. I don't like, as you know, picking the obvious winners. So I'm going to pick out somebody random. I did have there was a large swan that tried to break into my chalet yesterday that tipped up Luke Humphreys.
Right, okay.
So that's a possibility. There are a number of players in that that tier below the top 10 who I think could quite easily win a title this year. The likes of Luke, Ryan Searle, but also the one that nobody's talking about, and people say, oh, he sort of needs to have a bit of a run. I've been really impressed with the way he's playing. Hasn't picked up a title for a little while. I think he could win a major title this year, maybe more. Dimitri Van den Berg. I know he's a top 10 player. Yeah. He looks like an obvious choice, but nobody's really been talking about it. Overlooked for the Premier League. I think Dimitri is going to win something big, maybe a couple of things this year, and it could well be this one because I really like the way he's playing. He played great at the Worlds since Florian Hempel did him, despite, was it 102 average or something? It's not like he was playing poorly. So yeah, I'm going to go Dimitri Van den Berg.
And what about your dark horse? Someone maybe who's playing this afternoon that you think could go deep?
You know what? There's lots of players I've been liking the way they play. I mean, that lad over there, Keane Barry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going.
What a game with Van Gerwen at the weekend.
Oh, he looked great, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked great, and he's so level-headed. I mean, you've got Keane Barry there, you've got Louis Williams over there. I mean, they're so completely different characters in so many ways. And Louis Williams is the most, I can beat everybody, I am going to beat everybody. Whereas Keane Barry's like, I'll just see how it goes. It's going to be really, I think those two could be playing each other for a long while to come, and in very, very high stakes games. I don't think they're quite ready to be finding themselves in a semi-final or a final of this yet, but it wouldn't be the weirdest thing in the world. Let's see who might come. What about a Callum Ritz? Callum Ritz, why not? Why not? He's been a little bit quiet at the start of this year, but he'll pop at some point.
Well, Dan, it's a pleasure as always. Have a good one today. Thank you very much.
Excellent stuff. Cheers, man.
Dylan from Dartscast. Hello.
Yeah, how are you, right?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us. Right, who should we look out for from a Welsh perspective today in this first session?
I'm really looking forward to seeing Jim Williams personally. He's always been a player which I've thought has had the potential, but maybe not had the belief. And obviously, when the BDO became to not being anymore, I thought Jim was actually going places and he was ready to take that next step. Which he has really shown now by winning a tour card via the Challenge Tour, which is probably more of a challenge in itself, given the level of player on that tour. But I think he's got legs in him today, and I expect to see him get to the third round at least.
Absolutely. Anyone under the radar that we should perhaps keep an eye on?
Being from West Wales, I keep an eye on Martin Thomas. People who watch the online live league will have seen Martin play on there. I'd expect him to probably give a good showing of himself in the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is it about this event that you like so much?
It's just the busyness, the manic mindhead, really. The Friday, the busiest day of the darting calendar, and it's just those little stories, like we were talking about before we started recording. Players that you might have seen, on streaming games, now actually living out their dreams in front of hundreds, thousands of people. So, really looking forward to seeing who makes the headlines today.
Fantastic. Dylan, thanks ever so much for joining us. I'm going to give you a very highly coveted couple of weekly Dartscast stickers there. They're very highly sought after.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And have a good day.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
James Richardson, what a pleasant surprise. What brings you here to the UK Open?
Well, we come last year, and obviously the accommodation got cancelled, and they gave us free accommodation this year, so we couldn't turn it down. Plus, it's a great 3 days of darts. There's major upsets could be added today. Some qualifiers could, make a living out of this. It might turn their life around and their game around. Who knows? Yeah, it's a good weekend.
You've had some great experiences here at the UK Open. What ones stand out to you?
Years ago I played on the main stage. I beat Alcinas, and then I think I played Peter Wright on the stage. That's probably the ones I remember, and I give him a good go, but weren't good enough. But I've had some good tussles. We're in the room now where all the boards are showing. There's 6 boards in here, and I've had some good games in here. It's been 4 years since I played in the UK Open now, so I need to get back.
Yeah, I presume on some level it does inspire you to give this a good go and to get back here.
Oh yeah, I've been trying for the last 3 years to get my tour card back. It's painful watching this, but it's probably what I need to get myself back to where I want to be, having a tour card. And I'm in Lakeside in April, but this is very painful watching it. But I'll be back.
Looking forward to Lakeside?
Very much so, yeah. I played for Sunday evening last game. Never played on Lakeside. My son has. Obviously, he's BDO World Youth Champion, so he's been up there before me. But I'll need to have a good go at this, and I will be lifting that trophy.
That's what we love to hear. You got many fans going to follow you for that?
I don't think so, no. It's on a Sunday evening, so it's a bit awkward with the travelling and times and people getting up for work. But I've got a load of sports following me. They'll be messaging me and giving me all the support I need. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
How's the live league and things like that helped your game?
Massive. Everybody's trying to get on the online league. It's good practice to where you want to be, and it's helped me massively. You can't fault it. What they've done to create such a good league with non-tour card holders, and the standard is unbelievable. It's brilliant, yeah.
What's next for you then, tournament-wise?
I'm trying to find a little tournament between now and Lakeside. I'm not going to the Isle of Man next week, but really it's just Lakeside. It's the starts 2nd of April, so I'm on the 3rd of April. That's really my big one.
Love it. Well, James, thanks so much for your time. What a spot. That's great to speak to you. Pleasant surprise, and have a great weekend, and all the best for Lakeside if we don't catch up with you before then.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll actually enjoy myself, and you enjoy yourself.
My name's Steve Hartley, Hertfordshire.
And Steve, you're at the UK Open. What is it about this event that you like so much?
It's just so good, isn't it? It's like where you can get right in amongst the action, see people that you know playing darts as well, that you might have seen across your time playing as well. Yeah, it's good fun.
Who are you cheering on today?
Well, I'm going to watch George Killington, Steve West, Scott Mitchell, Richie Edhouse, and then obviously go and watch some of the big names in the other room as well. Barney's playing, I think Lewis is playing this afternoon, so should be some good games. The good thing about this is like anyone can win it. Blind draw, anyone can win it. It's good.
And this is quite good. Of course, you can get so close and actually see what's happening.
Absolutely, you can. Yeah, you can get a sense of the atmosphere as well, and it's about as close as I'm ever going to get to it anyway. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's a good weekend.
Fantastic. We'll have a fantastic time. I'm going to give you a couple of stickers.
Thank you.
Coveted, they are. You have to take my word for that. Put that on the board.
It could be my first sponsor. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, and enjoy the weekend.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you.
Paul Marsh, UK Open, your debut. How was it?
Absolute honour to play and qualify, but I'll be here next year. I didn't show myself in the best light, but onwards and upwards,
Absolutely. Can you give us an idea, because you're also very heavily involved with the UK Day, aren't you?
Yeah. Foremost things, I'm the National League Director, which means that the county system, which is the county system, counties play within the National League. I'm responsible for the running and the administration of that, with a good team around me, and the team's made of dart players for dart players, and I am, as you know, is evidently a dart player. So we took over from the BICC, the BDO, who've got 47 years of investment in that, and what we've done is we're trying to move it forward for the benefit of the grassroots dart players. I mean, the grassroots for us is just make it easy. The Super League player, give the Super League player something to aim for, something to play for as well, and It comes back to a question I was asked. Why do I want to vote for the UKDA to choose over the 3 entities that were bidding for control of this? And they all said, what's in it for me? So I've gone back and I said, I will find something for you as the individual, because that's the important thing. The number of we've got Super League players now getting pathways into the National League singles and final singles and pairs. We've got we had Super League averages counting towards a slot in the Modus League. That did fall flat because of one thing or another. That was but that may well come back. But we are there to recognise that in the amateur team game. We are the product, but we also recognise that there are avenues people want to go down for the WDF, the PDC, the Challenge Tour, the Youth Tour, and the ADC now, whatever that's called. Great, go and do it. Fantastic, with our blessing, and we'll support you all the way. But you come back and want to play the team game, we're there, and we're not going to make it difficult. We want to make it easy for you. And I still firmly believe in the old adage that you play your local pub darts, and you're good enough, you get to invited to play for Super League, and then you're invited to play for county, and then the next logical step, you play for your country.
Yes, that is true.
And that's what we want. We want to get that back on track in the way it should be.
Now we're just going to pause there because Martin Lukeman is just
Super Martin.
Another guy who's done a lot of lockdown streaming with me. Well done, Martin.
Well done, Mark.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
That's a good game. That's a great game, actually.
Yeah. And that's what this is. This is a great tournament for that, isn't it?
He's buzzing. He's got to go now. He's going to go back in the other room.
He's got to come back down. Then he's got to give himself up for the next one.
He needs his team in there, which he's got Richie Adhouse and the other guys from Darts Corner Mission who'll get him back down and get him ready.
Absolutely. Just before I leave you, tell us a bit about this Magic Weekend. Because obviously whenever there's something new, people go, ooh, do we like it or don't we like it? There's all this debate on Facebook. And
Magic Weekend is the solution to a problem that we had. The problem we had was the BICC, if we exclude Scotland, had 50 counties playing in it. We've ended up with 53 counties. And the only way we could do that when honouring promotions and all of that which people earned was to create the league structure that we had. So we originally thought, let's take everyone to holiday camp and make an absolute massive weekend of it residential. That didn't fly because of the holiday camp that we chose. Our clientele, our members, that wasn't great. So we listened to the counties and they took a vote. And the vote was, we'll go to Rotherham, which is a well-proven venue, make it a non-residential thing, so you make your own event, and what we'll do is we'll structure it to the B's on a Saturday and the A's on a Sunday. It was going to be one fixture one day and one fixture the next.
Yeah.
Now, it will be a memorable event, because what you've got there is you've got promotion and demotion and lots of things being decided over that weekend. We've got 24 counties participating, and I would say out of those counties 90% of their members are looking forward to it. It might be a few that aren't necessarily up for it, but give it the 1 year and people will. We've already had it. We've had other divisions saying we want that for us as well. It might not exist in the same format next year. It might just be one fixture, but involving other divisions. It's that thing. You're going to have a multi-board format. How it is 3 boards, simultaneous per fixture, with everyone behind you. So you've got 36 boards being played on at once, which is 12 fixtures at the same time, and it's the atmosphere is going to be huge. We are confident that, bear with us, embrace it and enjoy it. and you'll be looking forward to next year. They'll be asking, when is it on next year? We know that. But we also know it might need a little tweaking. It's our first year, no one gave us a handbook.
Absolutely.
We had a problem, that was the best way to fix it. This year, we've all had a problem, which is with COVID. So we've had a congested calendar, which means as you move in there, you've got some spillover. It's been hard.
Yeah.
We've done we've done what we had to do, and we've done it focused on the player. And we're sitting back as players and people involved in county setups for many, many years. You will have 3 ladies playing, and they're going to at the same time, and they're going to have all their ladies standing behind them supporting them, all the men standing behind supporting them, followed by 3 men, then 3 men, and 3 ladies again. It's going back to the old format in the 80s where you sandwiched everyone between and you kept everyone in the room and supporting. We personally think the averages and the standard of darts over that weekend will go through the roof, because you're not focusing on one person 3 foot off the floor on their own on the stage, right? You are going to do that, and you're going to have
ground level
exactly as we have here. You'll have 200 people behind every set of 3 darts, the 3 lanes, and that is going to bring on the darts. It's like, I was very fortunate to play in several Champions Cups and win one in 2016, but what won it for us was the support behind the lanes at ground level, and it was just brilliant. That, and then you're all playing at once. It's a unique atmosphere, and that's what we want to create. It is not everyone's taste, but let me say, those who are objecting against it the most don't actually throw darts. They administer, which we applaud, but they don't throw the darts.
Paul Marsh, thanks so much for summarising that for us, and we wish you good luck for that.
Hey, slightly controversial, but it is. Just give us that year, we'll do it.
I'm Roger Crook, UK Open finalist, loser twice.
In the Rileys?
Yeah.
Very close.
Not close enough. Joe Batteridge Rogers protege.
So you must look at this and think you want to get there, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's so hard. The standard's amazing.
How was Q-School this year for you?
A learning curve, to be fair, again. It was better this year because you can have a drink and socialise and that, but it was a lot better. But yeah, it's still hard.
Not in a bubble.
No, it was a lot better.
This, for the amateur players, is the ultimate, isn't it? It's our best chance to get anywhere, and it's such a great tournament. To me, this is the best. We get to mingle with the players, mingle with darts fans, and this is... You don't get anywhere with a stage like this where you can just get in there, can you? Yeah, you're right up close to some of your heroes.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you come here every year, don't you? Essentially, and
we come through snow, through wind, through rain. Yeah, it's the ultimate. To be fair, my friend Andy Buckle from Didcot GWRSA, he sold us this, told us about it, and we booked it, and it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
What are your favourite memories of being in this room?
One of the first ones we come to, a friend of ours was sponsoring Alex Roy, and he had such a great game, such a tussle, and you see the emotion from these players. First round matches and the emotion from these players, it means a lot to them. It's great to see.
It doesn't come across on telly very well, I always find. Would you say that?
I think the boards up here are not...
I think they should be on the red button again, so you can watch the players you want to watch instead of just the main stage.
They don't have enough coverage up here where some of the really good games are played. It's not the
darters up here, do you know what I mean, and stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's not the easiest to film up here, but there's a great atmosphere and there's some really good players up here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you ever so much for your time, and I'm going to leave you to it, but I'm going to give you some coveted weekly Dartscast stickers.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Right, Meikle, through to the 4th round of the UK Open tonight. One game, got the job done, didn't even drop a leg, 6-0. Couldn't have gone better.
No, I mean, like I say, that's nice. I think it's the first time ever I've ever come in the 3rd round, and I expected to, obviously, Rowley, Bradley or Gordon, whoever I played. I thought it's a long day for them to come through from round 1, so I thought I've got to use that as an advantage. and make the most of it. And I mean, like I said, I never expected to win 6-0, but no, I'm happy to just get through.
You mentioned that you come in later this time, whereas before you were starting in the early rounds. Do you watch your other games, your potential opponents, see how they're playing? Because we all saw Roby kick off the main stage with that big average this afternoon.
Yeah, no, like I said, I was never interested, but as I was leaving my hotel, I did see that we had 108 or 109, I think it was. So no, I thought he played well, but that was like 4 or 5 hours before we had to play, so I knew that's a long wait to keep going. So in my head I'm thinking, stay positive and just take advantage of it. And luckily, like I say, he never played like he could, nowhere near like the first game, so I had to take advantage, and luckily I did.
We talk about the UK Open, one of your biggest wins of your career, Dave Chisnall back in 2018, getting to the last 32. What does this tournament mean to you? Because for a lot of players coming through, this is one of the first ones that they play in.
Yeah, it's not as cold this year. There's no snow when I beat Chizzy that year. It was cold, it was awful. But no, I've got a slightly different mindset now. I'm top 64. Like I said, I've only had to play one. I'm now through to the evening. I think it's first to 10 now. So yeah, that's new. It's all new to me still. So I'll prepare again, and we'll see where we go. Yeah,
you're progressing well, as you say, into the top 64. You got your first win at Ali Pali at the end of last year. So how do you feel your progress is going? It's not like an overnight success. This is something that you've built a lot of time and years towards.
Yeah, no, it's my 7th year now. So I like to think I'm a bit more experienced now, and I know how these things work. So no, I'm looking forward to tonight, and if I can play again, like I say, half decent, you never know.
I mentioned that I'm local as well, a name that you'll know, Nikki Blum. He comes to watch Stowmarket play regularly, says that he's going to be doing some work with you this year. What is he going to be working with you? Is it on experience, your throw? What's the partnership there?
No, I've known Nikki since I was a young boy, since like my dad was playing county, and they're both top 8 team sort of players, and I keep saying we're hoping he'll come away with us this year, and that's just his mindset. He's brutal. He keeps saying I'll come away with you, I'll get you in shape, and like I said, I've known him since I was young. I love him to come away with us, just to watch all this. I mean, if it was a few years ago, he could be here himself.
Yeah.
And I keep saying to him, give the Q School a go, but don't tell him this. But he's getting on a bit. So but he's quality. He's an unbelievable player, and he still is now. So I love him to come away with us. Me and obviously Brett Claydon, who's from Suffolk as well. And we have a good weekend.
It's a good little dart scene going on in East Anglia at the moment. What about tonight then? We don't know the draw yet. What are you fancying? Would you want to be up on that main stage, or would you want to be in the multi-room again?
Yeah, that's an awkward one. I don't mind really. I'm now at the stage where before I'll be get on the main stage or play on the stage, but now I just want to concentrate on myself. If I can play how I can, get through tonight. It's all about the rankings now. If I can get up as far as I can, and but no, look, I'm not looking too far ahead. So yeah, we'll see how tonight go.
Lastly, away from the darts, we know you're an Ipswich fan. I'm Colchester. All your ex-players are getting us into non-league. But Ipswich, are they going to make a late push for the playoffs? What do you reckon?
Don't know. It's getting late now. I had a great day there actually in the boardroom, and I had a director's box. Thanks to the club after the Worlds. I still believe we can get in the playoffs, but I thought Colchester was getting there as well. The players we had were still good enough, I thought, for League Two, but that's not proven so far. But no, we've got a great manager now, Kieran McKenna. He's got us playing well, so we'll see, but it's looking tight.
Well, good luck to Ipswich. Hopefully we'll stay up with all your ex-players, and wish you all the best for tonight and hopefully the rest of the weekend.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Gareth. I'm from Swindon, and I'm here at the UK Open. And I'm currently in boards 3 to 8 and just watching the qualifiers and everyone on the outer boards. And this to me is what it's all about.
It is what it's all about, isn't it? Because I always find this one doesn't come across as well. Was that fair on telly?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't get the coverage it deserves. 1,000,000%. Like, you get Reds a little bit for BBC TV, and then you get obviously the main stage. But I think this is where the real fans are.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so you're here specifically for this, then? Do you think?
More so, yeah, definitely. I just think it's better. You see better games, and also you see what it means to the people that are lower down on the pecking order.
Definitely,
it's their time to shine.
And you've been here in the past, I think, haven't you? Cheering on Lee Evans, possibly.
Yes, yeah, been there, done that, and then also the last time I was here, we watched every game of Nathan Aspinall's when he won it, even with the 170 finish. So yeah,
that was a special one.
It was good. Yeah, it was really good, but it don't. Well, hopefully get Daryl Gurney or who else we got? Ryan Searle. So that's the ones we backed. So hopefully they do it.
Luke Humphries.
Oh, Luke Humphries. Yeah. Chuck that in.
Or anyone from South Wales.
Well, yes, because you've travelled from
Newport. Yeah.
And you travelled down for this?
Yes, travelled down for it. Yeah,
That's amazing. And so it's a big journey. It means a lot to be here.
Hours, yeah. And after the few years we've had, it's brilliant.
And it's great to be back, because this was the last one before restrictions and lockdowns and all that. We don't like to talk about it, but and last year's last one. That was the last one.
That was it. Yeah, Johnny Clayton, 9 data. That was there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, that doesn't come across, does it? That's
that's what you don't get.
Who's cheering? Surname is very good for chanting. Well, anyway, thanks so much. Appreciate your time. You've got your stickers.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Put that on the board when you get back. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Appreciate
Pass the podcast on.
Graham Hall, the first Riley's qualifier through to the 4th round of the UK Open. That sounds good.
It's absolutely brilliant. It's what we've all wanted, and what I've wanted, I suppose. And don't really know what to say.
Well, talk to us about your darts then, because where did it all begin? Have you played for a long time?
Yeah, I've played for about 15 years now, I think it is, and always wanted to get up there and have a good go at it. I know I've always had the ability to play good darts, but it's just doing it at the right time, right place, I suppose, isn't it?
So what was that first experience like at the UK Open 2015, 7 years ago?
Very nervy,
very
nervy. This year I was a lot calmer because I'd been and done it before, and I knew what it was all about, so this time just went up there really relaxed, and it seems to be paying off.
Of course, we didn't have the Riley's qualifiers last year. They came back this year, and we've seen a lot of high quality names in the field. Jelle Klaasen coming through one. What was your one like in Solihull? Were there a lot of names there? How hard was that qualifier to get through?
It was quite hard, I had a tough quarter-final against Jelle Klaasen. And then I think it was Scott Marsh who played in the final, but it was an absolutely brilliant final. He was sat on 220, I was sat on 85, he hit a 180 left tops. And luckily I took it out in 2 darts.
So to beat players like that, of course, that are, I guess, more household names, that must have gave you a bit of confidence coming into this weekend.
Definitely.
And then let's have a look at the run today. Started off in the first round, Kevin Bennett, a tour card holder.
Yeah.
Good win to kick things off.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous in that game, to be fair. Missed a few doubles early on and just getting a bit more nervous, but then eventually I managed to calm down. As soon as it come to the second game, I was relaxed then. It was,
But how relaxed were you when it went all the way against Andrew Gilden 5-all, and you pulled out some great darts? So I think it was 180, 140, 53 finish to kill off the game. That takes
it's one of those, you just got to, it either goes or it doesn't, I suppose, and you just hope for the best. And luckily that time it went for me.
And then your last round, you've just come off Steve Beaton, former world champion. You've got past him as well.
It's just a pleasure to play him, to be fair, and to beat him's even better. So, legend of the game, isn't he?
Definitely is. Well, you're making your own name this weekend. Who would you like in the draw when the balls come out later?
Oh, God knows. Not a clue.
Would you like a go on that main stage against one of the big boys, or would you like to go under the radar beyond the boards outside?
I would like to go on the main stage. Yeah. Before I even come here, I thought, well, that's where we all want to be, isn't it? Soak up the atmosphere, and it'll be a good experience, definitely.
Well, good luck for the draw later. Congratulations again. Wish you all the best for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, this is a new feature for us, live commentary while we're watching with Darren Beveridge, watching Daniel Helby taking on Andy Bolton. Who are you cheering on here, Darren?
I'm cheering on Andy Bolton at the moment. He's still in the game, he's playing well, just needs to take his chances when he gets them.
It must be. I mean, have you played Daniel Helby before? Because it's very fast, very, very fast.
I haven't played Danny personally yet, but I have watched him on the Challenge Tour. I've watched him when he's playing at the Worlds and stuff. He's a very, very good player, but I know Andy can compete with him if he turns it on. So I'm still going to cheer on Andy at the moment.
Absolutely, and good to be here today as a competitor for yourself.
Unfortunately, losing, it's not good. It's not good to be here now, but I tried my best. But it's still great to be here watching all the big names performing. It's a great experience for anyone here.
Does it inspire you to try and get back here on a more permanent basis?
I think everyone wants to get back here. Once they've been here once, they want to get back here every year. It's a great experience, just seeing all the big names, being able to compete against everyone, playing against the biggest names in the world. What else can you ask for? It's great, absolutely great.
And what's next for you? Is you going to do some WDF stuff or live league, I'd imagine? And
I'm going to do some live leagues. I'll be doing some WDF. I'm taking a year off for the Challenge Tour. I'm moving house soon, so I'm just trying to regroup. So Challenge Tours, live leagues if I'm asked. Yeah, just whatever comes up at the moment. Then next year I'll be back bigger and stronger. Absolutely.
Amazing. And just a word for your sponsors, down.
Yeah, it's just. Can't thank them enough. They've supported me through it. I spoke to Tommy at Dunvegan, told him I was going to take a year off. He couldn't be more supportive, said whatever helps. So he knows I'm moving house, knows I'm going to be a lot busy, he knows I'm not going to get the practice that I need. So he knows the year off is going to help me. So next year I'll be back bigger and stronger, and Tommy will still be behind me.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for your time, down. I think it's still, is it 3-1, 3-1, 3-2?
It's 3-2 now. 3-2 to Danny. So Andy in with a chance here.
Yeah, this is it. A gig on TalkSport awaits us, I think. Possibly.
I think so. I absolutely think so. Andy's not playing his best here. If Andy was to turn it on, I think he could easily turn this around. So just to stick in there, keep his head, and I think he'll be okay.
A personal thank you from myself, by the way, just to finish, to both yourself and to Andy, because in lockdown you both very kindly gave me an interview.
Yes,
so
we did. Yeah.
So it's thank you for that. And it's nice that we came out the other side.
Anytime, mate.
Boris Krcmar, well done. Congratulations through to the 4th round. Pleased?
Yes, I win first match. Now I'm waiting, and we will see what's happening.
How have you found it on the whole? How have you? Is it very loud, nice atmosphere?
Yes, I like this. I like the loud. I like the people, and I think I play good today, and I think I can win today. Yes, I play with Zoran. I know Zoran. I play many times with him in soft tip. Today I win, but Zoran is a very good player.
And just lastly, a word for your sponsors, L-Style and anyone else that supports you.
I have a sponsor, L-Style, Dynasty, and my friend Dartsan Frontier. And I hope I promotion good for the sponsor.
Fantastic. Boris, thanks so much for your time. Good luck this evening.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Jelle Klaasen through to the 4th round tonight of the UK Open. You've had to come through 3 games, 3 different boards. How pleased are you with how it's gone this afternoon?
I'm pretty happy. Scraped through the first game and the last game, but scoring-wise it was very good. Finishing a little bit, can improve on those games. But the second game I played like I can and I finished well. So the last few weeks I've been playing really well. So it's just nice to see that everything comes together now.
I'm going to come on to that second game in a moment because I was watching that game as well. It was some great stuff. But let's go back. You spoke to my colleague Burton before Q School. You were confident of getting your tour card back. It didn't go for you, unfortunately, on that occasion.
No.
When you look back on it now, what do you think went wrong?
Everything. I felt confident, but I wasn't confident at all. I think the last 2 years my biggest problem was changing my darts too many times. I felt confident for a while and then played some bad games, and then I started doubting the darts and changed to different sets. So I think in the Q School I played with 10 different set of darts. And the first Challenge Tour I played maybe with 6 sets of darts, and I was so angry after the first Challenge Tour I didn't touch my darts for a week. And then one day I practiced the whole day, tried different setups, different lengths of points, and I came up with a set that I really, really like, and I kept playing with them for the last few weeks, and I'm playing really well, feeling good. So that's a big win for me if you look at the last 2 years.
Definitely. Well, you're in your Riley's polo shirt, you're in the Riley's qualifiers. What was your decision behind going into them? Because you only get one spot in each qualifier. They're tough to get through.
They're really tough. Then you realise how spoiled you are when you're a Pro Tour player. No, it was. I just gave myself 2 chances. I just went for 1 weekend, and the first tournament I lost in the quarterfinals to Graham Hall. He qualified. I missed doubles to win, and when I came back in the hotel room, I was like, I only have 1 more shot, and I really wanted to play the UK Open. And the next day I played better. I was really focused. It was a long day. I think I was there at 10 and finished at 8 or 9 o'clock. So a lot of games, but I played well every game. So that gave me a lot of confidence.
And then coming into this weekend, you're on the main stage. As you said, it was a hard game, all the way 6-5, and then you come into the multi-board room. What's that like to go from that big main stage to then playing on
big
the
difference?
Stage?
Yeah, it's way darker. And because of the lights, I always feel like it feels further away on the big stage. So my first few darts on the board 4, they were way above the treble 20, so I had to get used to that a little bit, but it felt easier. And I think Cameron started way better than me. He left a double, I think, after 12, and I finished the 1-5-4. And that, everything went from then on. The first dart was perfect every time, so then darts is an easy game.
It definitely looked easy. We saw the great sportsmanship on show between you two as well. He was saying well done on the shots.
Every time, and then sometimes it's difficult because you want to stay focused, but you're like, thanks, and then you have to focus again. But he's such a nice guy and really supportive guy.
6 out of 6 on the doubles, 104 average. The 180s were flying in. How do you then try and pick yourself back up for that third game, because the average wasn't as high, but you still got the job done?
It was difficult because I think I had to wait an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that, and you have to prepare all over again. You got a slower player because Cameron is same as me, pretty fast. I'm not that fast anymore, but still pretty fast. And I know Jason Lowe very well, and he's such a steady player, so I knew it was a tough game. But I started missing some doubles in the beginning. I could have made it way easier for myself. But in the end, he missed some darts to make it 5-all, and I pinched it. But I felt confident enough that when it went 5-all, I could play a good last leg. I did it in the first game. I felt confident scoring-wise, so I know I can give myself chances. And today the important ones went in, so I'm happy with that.
And you're well into the tournament now, obviously now into the fourth round when we see the top 32 come in. Yourself, you had some deep runs here, I think semi-finals, quarter-finals.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about tonight? And obviously we don't know the draw yet, but anyone you fancy?
No, I don't care. I just want to play my game. I know if I play my game, I can beat everyone. The last 2 years, it didn't come out really well. So I feel my game is coming back. The last 2-3 weeks, I'm playing really well, and that makes darts a little bit more enjoyable. The last 2 years, I didn't play bad because I think I had 93, 94 average in 2 years' time, but I wasn't winning games. So then it doesn't matter what your average is. If you lose, you don't have any results. So I wasn't really in a happy place, and now even though I'm jealous at the people who are playing Pro Tour because I want to be there. I think it's a good way of getting my focus back, and I'm working hard to get back.
Yeah, we can see that definitely heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
Lastly, obviously all the focus still on this weekend, but the rest of the year, what have you got your eye on? Will it just be challenged to any other events?
No, I'm going to play every big tournament that I can. I'm going to play the WDF, the A tournaments, or when I can, soft tip if I can, because I like that. And just try to qualify for the Euro Tours, and maybe if I do well here, qualify for different tournaments. I'm just going to try to play everything to get my game back, and slowly it's getting there.
Congratulations this afternoon. We wish you all the best for tonight and hopefully the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the PDC Chief Exec Matt Porter backstage here at Butlins Minehead for the UK Open. Let's start with that. The event's back here after being away behind closed doors last year, and this is one of the events that the fans really love to be at.
Yeah, it's great. I was just walking around now and going out to the centre stage in Reds where we have board 2 and boards 3 to 8, and I just think it just creates a really unique atmosphere here. You know, the fans love coming to see the players that they don't always get to see on TV, and players also bring their fans. It's a bit like football where like away fans go and watch a team, and it's nice, because you see someone on board 7 and he's having his moment of glory. He wins, he turns around, his 20 mates are there cheering him on. I think it's fantastic. So it obviously builds up to the regular big event style on Sunday, but in the meantime there's loads of different stories going on everywhere, so I love it.
It's been great to see, and the tour is back fully now. Of course, last night we had the Premier League in Exeter. Let's touch on the new format, something that we didn't see coming. You said in your tweet, no one would guess what
yeah.
What's been the general reaction among what you've seen from fans?
I mean, I'm not just saying this, but really positive. I think the phrase we're using is every match matters, and I think it really proves that. You don't see fans drifting away inside the venue. You don't see any sort of lulls in the middle. I think if you're a player, even if you lose 3 or 4 on a trot, there's still really good incentive to turn up the following week. There's just always a story and always a reason and a motivation organisation, and I think that's so important because it's a long event, 17 nights, 16 in the playoffs. So it's important that it doesn't get repetitive, and people were saying, it's going to get boring, this, that and the other. Well, we've had 4 nights and 4 different winners so far, so we couldn't have scripted it any better, really.
Back to the UK Open, and it's been great to see the Riley's qualifiers back involved. A couple of them have got through to the fourth round. The local one, to me, the Norwich one, there was a lot of bad comments on social media. They got back together for the next weekend. Was that something that you were aware of?
Yeah, it was. And look, Riley's been a great partner of ours for years, and I don't think it's unfair of me to say that they were a business that were heavily affected by COVID. Obviously they're a social environment, and they were closed for a good long period of time. So perhaps they're back up and running again, and there's things that they would want to do. But there were issues in Norwich on the first one. It wasn't to the standard that either Riley's or ourselves would have wanted. But then, as you rightly say, it was fixed for the second one, and to me that's the most important thing. You can't ever go through life without problems. It's how you deal with them. So there was a problem and it was fixed.
And away from the hockey as well, we've seen a lot going on. The sponsorship side of things, William Hill being taken over by Kazoo for the World Championship. Kazoo, a sponsor of this weekend, sponsor of the Premier League. They're really taken over. Talk to me about, did William Hill decide not to carry on? Or
no, Hill's wanted to carry on. Kazoo, have obviously come in on a number of different fronts. They're sponsoring a lot of our events now. They've been very aggressive in the sports sponsorship market. You'll see that. You turn on your TV, football, rugby, cricket, whatever. There's Kazoo everywhere, they're a great partner to have. William Hill were a great partner, and they still are a great partner because they're the official betting partner of the Premier League. So they're still around darts, and it's good as an organisation to have options in that field. So we're very, very comfortable with the situation.
And how about the boards? We're now seeing the windmill boards, a big deal.
Win more, come on, get it right.
Well, I want to be right, but Unicorn are a massive part of the PDC early days up till now. Did they decide to step away? What happened there?
Look, ultimately a lot of these deals come down to the commercial situation. Companies make decisions, and as a company, the PDC decided that Winmore was the direction in which we should go. Unicorn have been a fantastic long-term partner of ours. I don't think any company has been with us as long as Unicorn have, but everything evolves, and with Winmore now, they've started really, really well. The reaction to their boards has been great, and we're looking forward to many successful years with them too.
Excellent. We're trying to get through as many topics as we can.
Go for it.
One that's unfortunately in the news at the moment is the situation with Russia and the Ukraine. We're seeing across all the sports they're banning Russian. We've seen the WDF today announced that they've banned Russian participants. What's the stance from the PDC?
So this is an ever-evolving situation, obviously. It's obviously tragic, and it goes way above darts. Darts is so inconsequential in all of this. We don't have a huge amount of activity or players from that region. Boris Koltsov is the obvious one. Boris is in Moscow at the moment. He's unable to leave Moscow, so whether he is irrelevant whether he would have had any sort of ban or not, because he wasn't able to leave Moscow to play in this event, and that's something that he's got to deal with as an individual. We've suspended our relationship with the EADC, who run a 10-12 event tour series across the year. They're fully in agreement with that decision. The guy who runs the EADC, Igor Dashkov, is a very honourable man. He's fully in agreement with our decision that we should suspend our relationship. They did run their first Pro Tours of the year. They were pretty much at the time when all the problems started, and it wasn't practical or at the time necessary to stop those events. So those events took place, but there will be no further events on the EADC tour while the situation continues as it is. At the moment, Russia does not have an invite to the World Cup of Darts, and it's a situation that we will assess in running as things progress.
Well, let's get on to more positive news and the women's game, something that the PDC have looked to get more involved in. We've seen the Women's World Match Play. First time we've got an all-women's event on TV from the PDC. Talk to us about how that idea came off the ground and how it's happening.
I mean, it was a natural evolution really for the women's series, because obviously there's been the 2 places for the World Championship and then the Grand Slam as well. But what we didn't want to do was just give potentially always the same 2 from the same 3 or 4 women opportunities. We wanted to make sure that other women players had the incentive to participate in the women's series and to have something to aim for. So 8 players is a realistic number for the strength in depth of the game at the moment and for the scheduling that we had available. Sky very, very enthusiastic about it. It's something we're really excited about. We can't wait to see how it evolves in terms of the standard, in terms of the enthusiasm, in terms of the interest levels. We're always prepared. At the PDC we're always prepared to try things, and we will try this, and we'll see how it goes. And we can't wait.
We've got the disability darts being involved in that as well. The women's series that comes back next week. Any idea yet on the number of entries? When I've got players from Iran coming over this time, so it's big up. And what's the entries?
I mean, look, the figure we always have in our head is 64. We always want to reach 64 entries. It can be difficult because sometimes the events can clash with WDF affiliated events, and I understand that it might suit some players to play in those, and that's it's unfortunate when they clash. Sometimes it's completely unavoidable. So if we can get to 64 entries, then we'll be pleased.
Excellent. Can you give us any gems, any details, anything happening that we might not know about yet?
I mean, look, we're working on the World Series. It looks like Australia and New Zealand's looking very positive. Copenhagen will be repeated. We're so excited to go to Madison Square Garden for the first time, and we're really working hard on getting a 6th event to get the series back to 6. And then the finals. So that'll be a big plus. That's probably the last COVID box to cross off the World Series. So the announcements out of Australia and New Zealand have been really positive in recent weeks. So it's looking very, very likely that we'll be able to go back there in Australia in August. New York we're full steam ahead with. Copenhagen we're full steam ahead with, and we're working really hard to get that 6th event up and running as well.
Happy days, Matt. It's a pleasure to catch
Always.
up. Appreciate
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers. All the best for the rest of this weekend.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Here we are, backstage in the players' room. The first session, the busy session of the UK Open has come to an end. We're down to 64 players. Have you caught your breath yet, Matthew, after what we've seen this afternoon?
It's amazing, isn't it? Have you enjoyed it, Alex?
It's been good.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Everyone should come and do this because it is just so frenetic, so bonkers, and it's a great opportunity to see a lot of players that you just don't see on the telly quite a lot of the time, and so many fantastic stories. Obviously, Graham Hall doing as well as he had is absolutely fantastic. Danny Lowry so very nearly joined him. Jelle Klaasen having a second breath of life. Was amazing. And then on a personal note, someone like people getting through from round 2, like Martin Lukeman, for example, getting through was pretty special as well. And of course, we saw Connor Scull on the main stage, guest 1 on the weekly Dartscast, so lots to choose from. You saw a few different games to myself. What caught your eye?
Yes, I mean, I've got to start with the Jelle Klaasen game. He's second of the 3 games that he had today. First game he had was on the main stage against another Riley's qualifier, Mark Rice. That went 5-all, and he pulled out a big leg in the last leg to win it 6-5. Then he comes from the main stage down to the multi-board room, and he found it better there. He found the pitch better in the multi-board room. We certainly saw that 104 average, 6 out of 6 on the doubles. He was hitting some huge outshots as well. Cameron Menzies just applauding it. He didn't know what else to do. There was nothing else he could do. But then he gets through that last game against Jason Lowe, so he's through to the 4th round against Devon Peterson tonight. As you say, Graham Hall, great to see what he did today, because he's someone that qualified for the UK Open 2015. 7 years later, he's back. He's got through the qualifiers. I think he went through 4 different qualifiers this year just to get in, and he had some deep runs in all of them. I think he had a final, a couple of quarterfinals, and then he finally got through on that 4th attempt. And to see what he did today as well, beating 3 established pros, Kevin Bennett, Andrew Gilding, and then in the last one, of course, Steve Beaton, former world champion. So he's picked up 3 scalps there to get through to the 4th round. But yeah, the Riley's qualifiers, they've definitely stood out for me, seeing them go up against the established names.
Well, that's why it's so special, isn't it? That's why it's great to see these guys mixing it with the pros. That's why it's the FA Cup of darts, which I really think they need to sell more. It doesn't come across, I think, and as I say, boards 3 to 8. It would be much nice to see a lot more coverage than perhaps it gets. So no, I'm going to go for a lie down, I think.
Yeah. And we've spent most of our time in that multi-board room. As you say, you don't see wall-to-wall coverage of that. Any particular moments you can pick out from this afternoon our listeners wouldn't have seen that you thought, yeah, that was worth coming for, that was a good moment?
The chant of the day, Jiwa, Jiwa. That was the Prakash Jiwa's team that had come down to watch him. So yeah, he did win again, beat Tony Alsness. Tony Alsness has a terrible record here, by the way. I think people need to look that up. Actually, I'm not sure what it is, but it isn't great. And then just the general sort of crowd reactions. Everyone was behind Danny Lalby there at the end. There was some quite vociferous Scottish support for Andy Bolton, of course, always getting a bit territorial. But yeah, just the general, great to meet loads of listeners as well, of which they've all got their stickers now, which will hopefully go on their boards and take pride in place.
Yeah, definitely spread the word. Well, some of the bits that I saw, I've mentioned the Jelle game, which was great to see in person, but Liam Meikle, someone that I hadn't seen before, had a go at a double. The first 2 darts missed. He throws his third dart in the air, catches it and then throws it and misses, but something that we've never seen before. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, Matthew, for your company this weekend. Thank you very much for it, and hopefully we'll do this again very soon.
Yeah, thanks so much. Hope you've enjoyed it.